Right now, a wall of Atlantic air is pushing across the United Kingdom, and what it brings with it over the next 24 hours could catch millions of people completely off guard. If you live anywhere in Britain, you need to hear this before you step outside today. Because this Sunday, the 8th of February 2026, is not your ordinary winter day. One city will hit 12 degrees Celsius, while another could see snow before midnight. The temperature gap between the warmest and coldest parts of Britain today is a staggering 17 degrees. That is the difference between a mild afternoon stroll and genuine danger on the roads. And here is the thing most forecasts will not tell you. The 8th of February is historically the coldest single day of the entire month in two major British cities. I'm going to reveal which ones in just a moment. But first, let me make you a promise. In the next 15 minutes, I will walk you through every major city and region in the United Kingdom, hour by hour, so you know exactly when the rain starts, when the cold bites hardest, and when the small window of decent weather opens up for you to get outside safely. If you stay until the 5-minute mark, I will share the one region where snow is genuinely likely tonight and the exact time it could begin. And if you make it to the 10-minute mark, I will give you a practical survival checklist that could save you real trouble this weekend. Drop a comment right now with the name of your city or town. I will do my best to give you a personalised forecast in the replies. Now, let us start where the news is actually surprisingly good. London. The capital is sitting in a pocket of mild Atlantic air right now, and temperatures today will reach approximately 12 degrees Celsius. For February, that is remarkable. The long-term average for London in the middle of February is only 7 to 8 degrees. So today is running nearly 5 degrees above normal. That is not a small difference. That is the kind of warmth you would normally expect in late March. But here is the twist. Do not let that mild number fool you. By late afternoon, drizzle will creep in, the kind of fine, persistent London drizzle that you barely notice until you realize your coat is soaked through. London typically sees around 12 days of rainfall in February, and today will add to that count. The overnight low drops to around 7 degrees, and the cloud cover will block out almost all sunshine. You might get 2 hours of weak sunlight at best, probably between 11 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. That is your window. Use it wisely. Moving along the south coast now. Brighton will be noticeably cooler than London, sitting at around 7 to 8 degrees during the day, dropping to 4 or 5 degrees at night. But here is what catches people out in Brighton. The wind. Being right on the English Channel, Brighton gets battered by coastal gusts that make 8 degrees feel more like 3 or 4. And the rain situation is serious. Brighton averages 89 millimeters of rain in February alone, spread across roughly 6 heavy wet days. Today could easily be one of them. Southampton tells a similar story. 4 to 9 degrees, heavy cloud cover, and that sea breeze off the Solent cutting right through whatever you are wearing. If you are on the south coast today, add an extra layer. Trust me on that one. Now, do not skip ahead, because what is happening in the southwest is where things start to get genuinely interesting. Bristol will see around 9 degrees today, dropping to 4 degrees overnight. That sounds manageable, and it is. Bristol might actually catch one of the drier days this month, with February rainfall averaging about 46 millimeters across 3 to 4 significant wet days. Bath, just down the road, will mirror Bristol almost exactly. 8 degrees during the day, 3 degrees at night. Honestly, if you are in Bath and you want to take a winter walk through those stunning Georgian crescents, today is not a bad day for it. Layer up properly and enjoy it. But Plymouth is a completely different animal. Sitting on the far southwestern tip of England, Plymouth takes whatever the Atlantic Ocean decides to throw at it, and today the Atlantic is in a throwing mood. Temperatures range from 5 to 9 degrees, but the relentless sea wind will make it feel dramatically colder. Rain could arrive at virtually any hour. And along the coastlines of Cornwall and Devon, gusts could exceed 30 kilometers per hour during the afternoon. If you live in Plymouth, you already know the rule. Never leave the house without a waterproof. Today is no exception. Right, now we move into the Midlands, and this is where I need your full attention because the picture changes significantly. Remember, I mentioned 2 cities where the 8th of February is historically one of the coldest days of the month. The first one is coming up very soon. But first, Birmingham. The nation's second city is facing a properly cold day. The high will reach just 7 degrees Celsius, and the overnight low will drop to 1 degree. 1 degree. That is hovering right on the edge of freezing. And here is what that means in practical terms. Frost will form on road surfaces and exposed ground during the early hours of Sunday morning. If you are driving in the Birmingham area before 8 in the morning, you need to be extremely careful. Birmingham averages 3 to 4 days of actual snowfall during February, and with temperatures sitting this close to 0, the possibility of snow cannot be entirely ruled out. It is not the most likely outcome today, but it is on the table. Oxford will manage around 9 degrees during the day, falling to 3 degrees at night. Cloudy skies, light winds, and a chance of afternoon rain. Nothing dramatic, but nothing cheerful either. Cambridge, over in the east, sits at around 3 to 8 degrees. East Anglia is generally drier than the west of England, but colder, and here is the hidden hazard. Morning fog. Cambridge and the surrounding flatlands are notorious for thick February fog that reduces visibility to almost nothing. If you are driving through East Anglia early on Sunday, slow down and use your fog lights. This catches people out every single year. Now, the northwest. And here is where we find the first of those two historically coldest cities I promised you. Manchester. According to long-term climate records, the 8th of February is one of the coldest days of the entire month in Manchester, with the average minimum temperature over many years recorded as low as 0.8 degrees Celsius. Today, the high will reach around 7 degrees, and the overnight low will fall to 2 degrees. Manchester is also famously one of the wettest cities in England. January and February are the two least sunny months of the year there, averaging a mere 3.4 hours of sunshine per day. Snow is not unusual either. Manchester typically sees 2 to 3 days of snowfall during February, accumulating around 19 millimeters. Today, while a heavy snowfall is unlikely, cold rain mixed with sleet remains a real possibility, particularly during the evening hours. If you are heading out in Manchester after 6 in the evening, prepare for sleet. Liverpool faces a similarly harsh day, 3 to 8 degrees, with Atlantic winds driving the wind chill factor down hard. February in Liverpool averages a remarkable 15 days of rain. That is more than half the month. And the sea temperature off the coast is sitting at just 7.4 degrees Celsius. The onshore wind carries heavy moisture and produces that leaden grey atmosphere the northwest knows all too well. Do not go anywhere, because what is happening further north is even more dramatic. Leeds and York in Yorkshire will see daytime highs of 8 to 9 degrees, dropping to 3 to 4 degrees overnight, but it is the North Sea wind that is the real story here. Cold air sweeps unimpeded across the flat Vale of York, carrying a penetrating chill that cuts right through you. Morning frost is routine, and if you are in York on Sunday morning, expect a thin white veil of ice on rooftops and pavements when you draw back your curtains. Newcastle upon Tyne. Now, this is a city that knows cold. Daytime temperatures around 8 degrees, overnight lows around 4 degrees on paper. But the winds coming in off the North Sea push the feels like temperature significantly lower. On days like today, the wind chill in Newcastle can rival that of some Scandinavian cities. Let that sink in for a moment. A major English city with wind chill comparable to Scandinavia. Light rain and strong winds will dominate the day for anyone in the northeast. Now, Scotland, and this is the part I told you to wait for, because this is where conditions enter a completely different league. Edinburgh, one of the most beautiful cities in Europe, will greet Sunday with temperatures that are, to put it gently, brutal. The 7th of February is actually the coldest day on average across the entire month in Edinburgh, with minimum temperatures capable of dropping to 0.7 degrees Celsius. The 8th is only fractionally warmer, highs of 5 to 6 degrees, overnight lows of 1 to 2 degrees. Edinburgh averages between 19 and 20 days of measurable rain in February. The first 10 days of the month are a particularly wet stretch, with around 4.1 millimeters falling each day. And snow is very much a factor. 2 to 3 days of snowfall during February, accumulating approximately 24 millimeters. Tonight, with temperatures flirting with freezing, rain could turn to sleet or wet snow during the early hours. Humidity runs between 86 and 88%. Which gives the cold that raw, damp quality that seems to seep into your very bones. Glasgow. And here is the second city I warned you about. February is the month with the heaviest snowfall in Glasgow across the entire year. Nearly 4 days of snow on average, accumulating up to 49 millimeters. That is roughly double what Edinburgh gets. Daytime temperatures will reach only 5 to 6 degrees, with overnight readings potentially dipping below freezing. Glasgow's weather is remarkably unpredictable. You might get weak sunshine in the morning and find yourself walking through sleet by lunchtime. Wind speeds in Glasgow tend to be higher than most other British cities, and the real field temperature can easily drop several degrees below zero. The Scottish Highlands are in an altogether different category. Heavy snow cover across the peaks is normal in February. Temperatures at altitude can plunge to -5 or even -10 degrees Celsius, and summit winds can reach gale force. If you have any plans to hill walk in the Highlands this weekend, check local forecasts carefully, carry proper winter equipment, and tell someone your route before you set out. The mountains are stunningly beautiful in February, but they demand absolute respect. Wales now. Cardiff will see conditions similar to Bristol, 9 degrees during the day, 3 to 4 degrees at night. February is technically the snowiest month in Cardiff, but snow rarely settles at sea level. Rain is the main feature, with approximately 9 rainy days and 22 millimetres total. Today may bring scattered light showers, but nothing too dramatic. However, North Wales and Snowdonia are a completely different story. Temperatures in the mountains drop far below the coastal lowlands and may stay below freezing even during daylight hours. A mixture of rain and snow is common, and ridge winds can be fierce. Northern Wales in early February retains a climate more like January, with no sign of meaningful warming. Full winter conditions apply. And finally, Northern Ireland. Belfast will endure a cold and damp Sunday that is thoroughly typical of February. Temperatures range from 2 to 8 degrees. The Atlantic influence makes Belfast's weather remarkably changeable. Within a single day, you could experience weak sunshine, drizzle, strong winds, and even snow flurries drifting on the breeze. February averages 16 days of rain in Belfast. That means well over half the month sees some form of precipitation. Winds are stronger than most cities on the British mainland, and sudden gusts can bring rain or hail at virtually any moment. Keep a waterproof jacket within arm's reach at all times. Now, here is your practical checklist for today, and please do not ignore this. Dress in layers. Thermal base layer next to the skin, a woolen jumper or fleece in the middle, and a windproof waterproof jacket on the outside. Carry an umbrella even if rain is not forecast for your area. February weather changes with remarkable speed. Motorists, check your tires, lights, and heating before setting off, and take extra care during early morning and late evening when frost makes road surfaces treacherous, especially across the north and Scotland. Your best window for outdoor activity today is between 11 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, when temperatures peak and you have the best chance of any sunshine. For the elderly, for young children, and for anyone with respiratory conditions, please stay warm, drink plenty of hot fluids, and avoid prolonged exposure to the cold, damp air. Let me quickly recap the key numbers you need to remember. London, 12 degrees and mild but drizzly. Birmingham, 1 degree overnight with frost on the roads. Manchester, sleet possible after 6 in the evening. Glasgow, heaviest snowfall month of the year with nearly 4 days of snow on average. Edinburgh, humidity approaching 88%, making the cold feel far worse than the thermometer says. And the Highlands, -5 to -10 degrees at altitude with gale force winds on the summits. Those are the numbers that matter today. Before I go, here is what you absolutely need to know about what is coming next. Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, a new weather system is tracking across the Atlantic that could bring significantly stronger winds and heavier rainfall to large parts of the United Kingdom. Some early models suggest gusts exceeding 50 miles per hour in exposed coastal areas. I will have the full breakdown in the next video, including exactly which cities will be hit hardest and the precise timing of the worst conditions. You do not want to miss that one. Remember, drop a comment with your location and I will get back to you with a forecast tailored to your area. Stay warm, stay safe, and I will see